Hello, AV here. Hope you've had a good CES. I'm going to do a quick, that is, rundown of all the things that I saw at CES. I wasn't actually there watching everything as it sprung up. I was most of the time building furniture, so apologies for, I guess, not being current at the time. But I've caught up now, so now I'm current as to the stuff that came out a few days ago. Anyway, first it's worth doing a rundown of all the information that I've gathered from various sources. Any images I show, I'll be showing one image of each component I talk about, and I will direct you as to who made that so you can go check out their content for more information. So, running down the chart that I made quickly here, the table: manufacturer, product name, product type, description, release date, cost, and interest level. I'll shout them out as to what the information is when I come across each thing, and then or you can check it out yourself now and run off whenever you fancy. I've also got just a random graph on the side of my level of interest of each thing with regards to what I'm targeting to review this year, or what I'm most interested in reviewing, and I'll try my best to review the most interesting things I'm interested in, and not. Again, as with everything, comment if I missed anything that you think I'd be interested in, or just things that were epic that I just completely missed. And yeah, so let's go on to running through all the stuff, starting with the most important thing first. Cooler Master had an MB311M. It's a Masterbox case. It looks more like a Master case than a Masterbox case, at least compared to the Masterbox Q300L, which was a little bit of a train wreck. So I'm interested in checking this out for a multitude of reasons. 1, micro ATX, tempered glass is number 2, mesh front is 3, not that bothered about ARGB, but it is cheap, that's the 4. So yeah, this is looking to come out at about Q2. I've put down May 20, it's in red for things I'm not 100% sure on, or not really sure on. Well, 100% I guess, and it's looking to be around $60, which is pretty cheap for the stuff that it's touting. So this really looks like a key case for people who are into micro ATX, which I think is the perfect form factor for most people, because most people will never use all but one of the PCI Express slots that they have. So yeah, they'll have about, what was it, 3 or 4 or something to go with on a micro ATX board. So yeah, there's plenty of options there for people to use for micro ATX. So yeah, I don't know why it's not more popular. Maybe it's just because the options for micro ATX are so short, and it's kind of like if the demand is not there, the supply isn't delivered. So it's just a vicious circle. Anyway, that's piqued my interest. Also, on top of everything, seeing if it's corrected stuff from the previous, or the Q300L, which I want to see if is done better. And Cooler Master is very popular in terms of videos, and to grow the channel, I need to make some of the most popular videos I can. So yeah, this piques a lot of interest in those regions, and channel-wise it should be good. So moving on, the Phanteks Evolv Sound Mini. I'm not really that interested in reviewing this. I just think it's a bit of fun. I had an Evolv. I think the design is nice. The little speakers look quite cute. I like the look of them. They look like a bit of fun. I don't know what they're made of. Quickly harking back to the previous one, Paul's Hardware is where that image came from. The image for the Evolv Sound Mini speakers is from the Tech Buyers Guru. That's a bit of a mishmash of every possible name of a review channel possible, or coverage site or something. So yeah, a bit of a mouthful, but there we go. So that's that. Just a bit of fun. I probably won't get them. Apparently I think they're already out now, so just a bit of a hey, that looks fun. Moving on, in Win, I've got the C216 image courtesy of Gamers Nexus. It looks it looks like a mess to me, to be honest. I mean, it looks nice, but it looks like a really nice mess. Organized chaos, we could call it. So it's got virtually a completely sealed front panel. I think it's side intake like the 301, which I thought was pretty awful all round. It hasn't got break-off tabs by the look of it, so they've learnt there. But yeah, Steve from Gamers Nexus, in his video, which I got this from, just pointed out that the graphics card is so close to the tempered glass. It's within a millimeter from the glass. So this is like water cooling or bust kind of case. So I just want to buy this. I mean, it has got horizontal mount as well, so that's your options. But yeah, so that vertical mount is pretty much only for water cooling there. But anyway, it looks interesting. Could be good. Apparently it's looking to come out in February, sort of Q1-ish, for about $70. And yeah, so it's interesting for the reasons of the past video that I did on the stuff, and I just like to see how it turns out. Next up, MSI. I pretty much completely sidelined MSI when I was looking for stuff, so I'd like to say thanks to Toto for keeping me on track with that sort of thing. MSI actually have all the stuff that I saw in terms of cases piqued my interest. So we got the MAG Forge 100R, and there's the M version as well. The R has ARGB, so addressable RGBs, or is it DRGB? I don't know. Then we also have standard RGB in the M version, the 100M. They have a really interesting style. I think they look quite cool. Apparently, something to do with a forge, the hammer and the. I think we can forget that. But yeah, it looks quite interesting. It's got a mesh at the front, a fine mesh. And yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about that. Looks fantastic. The MSI Creator 400M also piques my interest. I don't think it'll be as popular for a video, but I do like the look of it. So if I were to choose one or the other, I would probably choose the MAG Forge 100M or R. But yeah, this is a very close second. It just looks very interesting. So those cases from MSI, don't know when they're going to come out. I couldn't see anything obvious, and I don't know how much they're going to cost. So who knows? They just look interesting. Next up, we have the Cooler Master MB320L. Now, I've got the image again from Paul's Hardware here. The other MSI stuff, sorry, that came from Overclocked or Overclock 3D. So yeah, so the MB320L, I'm not a fan of these names, and Paul, I think on his video said he's not sure why one's called the 311L and one's the 320L, so who knows. But basically it's the 311L. The 320L is a 311L, but it has an acrylic front, which you can see on the bottom left of his video there. Next, a case that people are really interested in seeing, it's the Lian Li 011 Dynamic Mini. So this is going to be super popular. I know somebody, Ben, who's if you've been here for a while, Ben sent over like 1 billion fans and a power supply unit, and is basically supplying half the gear I have on this channel. He's looking to get this case, and potentially maybe I'll buy the case and then send it to him so he can have it, or vice versa, and we'll work the details out there. But it just looks like it's got a bit of everything. Now, the quick description, it's out about May, sometime in May, and it's going to be about $100 as far as I'm aware. Now, one big thing that people were talking about is its ATX, micro ATX, and ITX, tempered glass kind of showcase. The showcase thing's sort of less so, but they're all about the ATX, micro ATX, and ITX. Yes, I think the only reason this kind of works especially for this case, or will, is because it is a showcase and it's just glass everywhere, and yeah. One thing I like to point out is pretty much every ATX case can be micro ATX and ITX. I think everybody already knows this in the back of their head. They're just not saying it. They're just really in awe of how cool this thing is going to look, and it will look excellent. So, well, it does look excellent. So yeah, so just wanted to point that out. It's not anything special this case does, of course, but it does it in a way which might be more appealing than what cases have done in the past. Next, MetallicGear NEO Pro. I got this from Hardware Canucks. The last one was from Paul's Hardware. Hardware Canucks obviously just have excellent footage, lots of B-roll. I think they were there when things were quieter. They got a little bit better access to certain things. But anyway, the Neo Pro, it's the cheese grater. It's the Apple effect. Apple makes some sort of wacky design, and everyone wants to copy it. So what's interesting about this is, despite its looks, it's only $60. So I'm not sure what the front panel is made of. I'm going to assume some sort of plastic. It's just something cheap and molded. It's not going to be, well, it won't be milled out aluminium for sure, and it won't be forged. It would just, yes, it'll likely be plastic as far as I'm concerned based on what it looks like. And of course, its cost is looking to be out around March for about $60. So yeah, moving on from that then, Silverstone, I got this image from Silverstone themselves, or I think from their Facebook page. Silverstone, so this is the Sugo SG14. I don't know if this has got tempered glass on the side. I thought it did when I was looking at stuff before, but I can't guarantee that now. The one thing I'm really interested about this case is its cooling despite its size. You can fit in a 280mm radiator in here, which could be really good for either a custom build or just some sort of AIO if you're putting in a really hot CPU. So it just looks interesting as far as I'm concerned. It's out Q1-ish, and it'll be around $70. So I believe there should be some tempered glass in there. I can't guarantee that though. I haven't really looked into it as far as this. So there we go. Next up, again from Silverstone, got this image from Silverstone, the SETA A1. ATX case with an aluminium front and a tempered glass side. I think this looks really, it looks stylish in a not glaring and outrageous kind of way. It just looks clean and it looks modern, and it doesn't look like a gamer case, and for those reasons I'm kind of interested in checking it out because I don't know, it just looks quite clean and nice. But apart from the look of it, I don't think there's going to be a huge amount going on extra, but from what I'm looking at from the image, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount in terms of tempered glass panel retention with, you know, bolts and stuff. So that could be something interesting they have going on there. And maybe there's some instructions on the top right of those cases plastered there as to how to get the panel off so people don't drop the damn thing. Moving on, we have the Asus ROG Z11. This is this mini ITX case. I thought it was a compact mini ITX case. The thing is huge. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of the SilverStone LDO1. It took me a while to think of that. So yeah, it kind of probably is going to be a similar size to that. People didn't like the 25-litre LDO1, but they may not like this for the same reasons. But it looks really interesting, so I'm kind of interested in seeing what it's all about myself. That's pretty much that. Image courtesy of Hardware Canucks, or image from Hardware Canucks. Not courtesy, I don't think I actually asked them. Oh, no, I didn't ask them, so there we go. MetallicGear NEO Matrix next. It's got an interesting front. Is that all that's going on for this case? Who knows? It's ATX. It just looks kind of interesting. It has this a lot of preset pixel style images and graphics and stuff that show up. It is animated and that sort of stuff they have as preloaded stuff. It's out in March 2020 and it'll be about $100. So there we go. Moving into the sort of stuff that I'm not as interested in, mostly because things get really expensive here, or they're just not that interesting overall in terms of the, wow, that's going to be really cool. So yeah, Thermaltake View 51TG ARGB. It's a large ATX case. I don't know what it's going to cost, and I don't know when it's coming out. The Cooler Master TD500 Mesh. It's an ATX case. I'm just going to get the image up for me. So yeah, this one is actually relatively interesting. It's an ATX case. It's got a large Meshify style front panel. It's out sometime Q1 and it's going to be $100. So I'm not entirely sure if that's an amazing price for what's there, but I think the build quality is going to be pretty solid. So I don't think there's going to be a lot to complain about. Does look pretty interesting, and there's some cool effect on the tempered glass, which is worth checking out. So check out Paul's Hardware for both the View 51TG ARGB and the TD500 Mesh. Next up, we're into coolers. It's a large CPU cooler, the DT614 Cooler Master DT614. Large CPU cooler, out sometime in Q2, and it's going to be $90. So that is on the pricey side, but it does look quite nice. The Hyper 212 Evo from Cooler Master. This one courtesy of Paul's Hardware, same as the last one, the image at least, or the screenshot. So yeah, pretty much the only reason I'm interested in checking this out is because I had the previous one and I'd like to see how they compare against each other. I'd also like to review it and see if there's anything different, but it's going to be cheap. I mean, we're looking around $37 and it's going to be out in February. So it's cheap. It'll be, you know, potentially a really good option. There's a lot of other really cheap good options as well, which I would actually like to go and review a pile of coolers in the 2020 just to see what's going on. Next up, we have the Cooler Master G400P. I'm actually quite interested in checking this out. It's a larger version of the G200P that's out already. Could be a good contender against a few of the Noctua really small coolers. I've got a couple of them. Actually, I've got about 3 Noctua coolers that I actually use for my test bench because they just cool so well. I don't like the brown, but they cool so well. You know, how can you complain against the performance stuff? Obviously, they're black, you know, things coming out now. That being Noctua, but anyway, we're getting past ourselves now. So that's out this January, and it'll be $45. So that's not too bad. I only said quid. Phanteks Eclipse P300A, courtesy image of BitTech. Yeah, this is. It seems okay. I think it might be something worth checking out. It's a budget ATX case. It's going to be about $60. Has some tempered glass. Has a nice mesh front. Looks very clean. What can you really complain about? It should be out this January. Corsair A500. I'm getting very hot and sweaty under these lights now. The A500 CPU cooler. It's large, dual fan. It's got sliding fans. That's pretty much what seems to be its major selling point. The reason I'm not that interested in this is that despite this being a sliding fan thing, there's this whole situation where it's like, well, you know, if you have high RAM, then it'll be compatible. Well, if you slide it up, then it needs to be compatible with your case. So are you saying that you buy this potentially not knowing it's going to suit your RAM, so you buy this because you like the look of it, you slide it up, then you realize it doesn't fit in your case? Or do you buy a case that's so large because you're compensating for the potential for the RAM to be quite tall, and therefore you might need to modify the position of the fan on the cooler? Do you see what I'm saying? Not entirely sure if it's really as impressive as it's all made out to be. I'd like to check it out just in case to see what's going on there. So that's the A500 from Corsair, image courtesy of Paul's Hardware. Moving on, Thermaltake Level 20 RS. This is just damn expensive. Oh yeah, that the previous one, sorry, the cooler, out in January 20, and it's going to be $100, hence why I'm not that interested in it. So yeah, the Thermaltake Level 20 RS. It's a large ATX case, it's very expensive, and I have no idea when it's coming out. I'm really not that interested. We're moving into the sort of 2 out of 5 level of stuff now. Moving on, we have the Win C215. This, I kind of don't get it. I don't know about this one. There's not a lot to be excited about. Now, Inwin's one of those weird things, one of these weird companies, which there's a lot of supporters and there's a lot of people that are just adamant that it is amazing design and they know exactly what they're doing. But I mean, this is actually, it's ironic that they have this image here. I've got this from Gamers Nexus. There's an air-cooled graphics card vertically mounted right by the glass. So going back to the other case, which is right next to it, the C216, just, they're supposed to show that they know what they're doing, but they make it hard to watch what happens. Anyway, it's out sometime Q1 and it's going to be about $70. It looks like a case from 10 years ago plus. You know, a lot of people, I get, they're not really into, you know, gamer style cases, but I mean, yeah, so that's why I'm not that interested in that. The C200, just for exactly the same reasons, there's just not much going for it. It has some interesting hot swap bays at the top, which, yeah, that could be quite cool, quite easy to use, but again, style-wise, there's really not much going into it. Quickly moving on, I've spent so much time doing this. Lian Li have got this Strimer Plus. I'm gonna guess it's Strimer because it's 1M. Yeah, I'm not that interested in checking them out, but they do look interesting. It's, you know, the addressable RGB situation going on there. You've got lots of effects of individual strands of cables, or the LEDs going over the cables, or sorry, the LEDs, I guess. I actually don't know what the technology is, to be honest, so yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it looks interesting, so I thought I'd put it on the list. Image courtesy of Paul's Hardware there. Moving on, SilverStone with the Alta F1, courtesy of SilverStone. It's a premium ATX case. I don't know when it's coming out. It's going to be 170 quid, or dollars, sorry. I'm not that interested in that, just because it's price, really. Cooler Master V8 GTS ARGB. This just mental. I kind of don't see the point. It just, okay, it looks interesting, but apart from that, it just, everything all over the place. I mean, maybe it's interesting is just enough. So maybe I just need to calm down and say, look, it's fun. Don't have to be so hard up about it. Lian Li Lancool II. A lot of people like the Lancool II. I had no hands-on experience with it, but apparently it was very good. EATX sometime around April, and it's going to be $90. Be Quiet, the Pure Base 500DX. I just don't really like the look of it, and it's kind of expensive at $100. It'll be out in March, something that I probably might skip by unless people really want to kick up a fuss about it. Then we have the SilverStone Fara B1. It didn't seem to have any, I don't know, I didn't really see much about this one. It looks pretty standard, not a huge amount going on there, so it's going to be $60, out sometime Q1. The Thermaltake Apache Helicopter T600, the AH T600, this thing's just crazy. The reason I'm not interested in it is because it costs so much and it'll be out sometime 2020. Win B1. The only reason I'm really not interested in this is because it only allows for low-profile graphics cards, so that's pretty much that. I don't know when it's out, and I don't know how much it will cost, and it has a pre-installed 200-watt power supply in it, which I'm not really sure you can change out, nor maybe that would you want to, because of the amount of thermals you'll be throwing into that thing. So yeah, it looks interesting, but not really my cup of tea. And finally, the last few we've got now, we've got the MasterLiquid, Cooler Master MasterLiquid, all-in-one liquid coolers. There's the general MasterLiquid ones. There's a few variants like the intra, I don't know. And then we've also got, these are from Paul's Hardware. Obviously, I've got the captions, but I'd like to say it if I can. I forgot the last one before that. It's down here somewhere. MasterLiquid Vivid, then we have for the next one, which I'm not that interested in because it just, it doesn't seem like there's much technology brought to the plate or the table apart from RGB, and that's not really that much of my bag, to be honest. Thermaltake, then we have the Distrocase 350p or 350p. That's just from Paul's Hardware, the snapshots from there, from him. So yeah, it's going to be out in 2020 sometime. The coolers, the Cooler Master AIOs, they're going to be out in February 2020. Around $130 to $200 if you want that. Anyway, this Distrocase 350p, it's going to be about $500, and it's out in 2020 sometime. So that's that. It kind of looks like the Core P5 with more glass and a huge distro plate in the back, obviously. Then there's the XPG Volta, which just looks to me like a street bin, which has been snazzed up. Maybe a street bin in California, or no, street bin, let's say in Japan somewhere. So yeah, that it just, yeah, in high-tech area Japan kind of thing. So yeah, a cyberpunk street bin. That's what it is. It's a cyberpunk street bin. Don't know when it's due to release, and it's going to be about $500 plus $500-$600, you know. There we go. And then we have the Win Diey, apparently means butterfly. I got this image from the last one was from Paul's Hardware, the Volta, and this one is from Gamers Nexus. I really didn't care for much for this at all. I've got it as zero interest because just not even, I couldn't even possibly conceive of reviewing this due to its cost unless they sent one over, which they wouldn't, obviously. But the only reason this is kind of interesting, not interesting to me and from a reviewer's standpoint, is Steve pointed out that this is a showcase thing. They probably won't sell a lot of these or any of these, or maybe a lot at all. But this kind of stuff trickles down. It's like trickle-down technology. It's like, why should we care about going to space and funding NASA and going to Mars and stuff? Well, one, it's cool, and this is cool, but it's also, there's a lot of technology that's developed. Not that this is developing cutting-edge technology to do stuff, because it's just cases and stuff. So all the technology from going into cases are trickled down mostly from other places, and some is, you know, which is not necessarily functional, is developed. That's more static is developed from case manufacturers, of course. But it's cool technology, and it's stuff that trickles down into other things within that field. So we might see interesting things from this in the future, such as the Alexa support, which we just shouldn't talk about anymore. So that's about it. I've probably been going on for at least 15 plus minutes, so sorry for that. These are the kind of things that I'm interested in checking out in the near-ish future, sometime in the first half of this year. I'm going to do my best to get hold of things, and if you guys see things come out and I don't spot them, just give me a shout out and I'll do my best to order things and get things running through. I'm looking to get around 20 reviews done this year, so maybe 1.5, 2 a month kind of thing, in-depth reviews. Cooler reviews like this one, which is the PF120 from SilverStone, which I've been supposed to be reviewed about a month ago before I started moving house. I'm in the middle of reviewing now. These cooler reviews don't take as long, so I'll probably be able to crank out a couple of cooler reviews, 1.5 cooler reviews for every one case review I could do. So we'll see if we can hit those targets. So anyway, sorry for the huge amount of time spent doing that. Most people will trickle off by this point, but if you have seen something that maybe you didn't catch, that's good. And also, all the important stuff happened at the first half of the video, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, cheers guys, I'll catch you in the next review. Bye-bye.